So my wife's been wanting to have a bike rack on the back of her car, so we're going to put a trailer hitch on it. So I picked up one of them to throw on this Focus here, and I'm going to back that up over here and get started. What's in the box? Oh, okay, it's just a trailer hitch. Look at that little receiver. It's so tiny. Woohoo. So that's the 2-inch receiver right there. It'll work. Oh. So this supposedly is the one that I need. We will see. Where the heck are the bolts at, though? What? They don't come with bolts? Are they in this? Oh, it feels like they're in that. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get this all unwrapped and see if we can figure out how it goes on. Alright, so here's the first tip that I came up with. You have to fish a bolt up into this hole right here, alright? And you go through the end of the frame rail. There's an opening right here that goes into that rail. Now instead of trying to take this wire and go up through here and into that hole, just take the coiled end of it, stick it in the frame rail, and start feeding it through. And look at that. There it is. Ready to go. Now I just got to put my bolt and stuff in the end of it and pull it up through. Which I'm about to do right now, but I can't really do it with one hand. Okay, so I have the bolt and it just threads into the end of that. Alright? Now I'm gonna maneuver it up through the frame rail, which is not super difficult. There it is. And there it is. That's simple. Got that in. I'll just unscrew the wire off the end of it. And I believe that's the only one that I have to fish through on this car. So far, this is looking like it's going to be the easiest install I've ever done of a hitch. Alright, so here we go. We got that one end that we fished through. And it has one more bolt that goes through down here with a like a big plate. Same on this side. And it has these spacers I guess you're supposed to put in between the hitch and that piece of the frame rail. And another big washer type thing on the outside of that frame piece. I'm looking at this and it'll be fine for a, you know, just a bicycle rack, because it's only going to have maybe 3 bikes on it. That's not going to be too much for it, but wow. You compare this to any of the hitches I've ever used before, I've never seen them use mounting points this thin. But I'm sure it's fine for the light duty of this hitch. Just seems kind of funny that you got a piece that's, what is that, probably 1/8 inch thick steel, and you're mounting it to stamped sheet metal, basically. I would have liked to have seen it more with more mounts like this that go through the frame rail. And it could have been done on both sides. Yes, you would have had to drop the exhaust to do it, but it would have been more secure, a better build. But now I'm going to snug these all up, and after that I get out the torque wrench, and they need to be torqued down to 110 foot-pounds each, and that's it. It's done. I don't have to go any further. I don't have no wiring to do because this car is not going to pull a trailer. So, I'll show you what it looks like on the outside when I crawl out from under here. I'm going to show you something I noticed that I did not like. I thought I seen a crack over here on the side. When I was trying to peel the sticker off, and the powder coating came right with it. It's still flaking off. So that's awesome. I gotta paint that or it's gonna start rusting right away. It's doing it back here too. Alright. Let's grab the torque wrench. And like I said, I set this to 110 foot-pounds. That's what it's supposed to be. And we'll just tighten it up until she clicks. That's it. So, I gotta do that 3 more times and then we can let the car down. Alright, so I was thinking, how am I going to fix this? Because I don't really want to spray paint on it. And I remembered that I had some of this Rust-Oleum chip repair. So I'm just going to take a screwdriver here and flake this off until we get to good solid powder coat. Alright, so that's how that turned out. And what I did was, after I got all of the sticker off, I took some brake clean and parts cleaner and a rag, and I got all the residue off. And I took the grinder with the flap wheel on it, and I feathered out all the edges. And I happened to notice that it was coming off on this side also, so I smoothed out those edges and cleaned them up, and also on this little edge. So now I'm going to take this Rust-Oleum scratch and chip repair paint and brush it on there and be done with it. I think I got it pretty well centered. It does seem like it's a little off to this side to me, but I don't know. Little things like that, it just drives me nuts. It's just a little bit off to this side. Oh well. Oh well, it'll be fine. It'll carry some bikes. My wife will be happy. I'll be happy. Alright, let me get this painted up and I'll show you what it looks like. Well, there you go. Now, does it look as good as the powder coat? No. Will it work? Yeah. It'll be fine. Same on this side. Turned out just fine. Sure, this probably stiffens up the rear of the car some too. Gives you extra impact protection, I bet. Couldn't hurt. Alright, well, I got that project done. I'll get this thing down off the stands and I don't know, figure out what I want to do next. I got 50 million things to do. Alright, let's keep moving. Well, I want to see what it would look like. I'm kind of thinking we might need to get a different bike rack. That's a hell of a lot of gap. I had to use an extension adapter to go from that 1 1/4 to 2 inch so that I could use this 2 inch. Suppose I could always just cut down this bar though and suck it up close to the car. But then I could only use that rack on this car. That's the only thing. That really sticks out there. That's what, 4 feet off the back of the car? At least. It's going to create a lot of swing when you're turning. You have to really be careful. Man, I don't know what to do now. I mean, it's either I cut that down or I get a different bike rack. I would be okay with this. I'm just worried about her driving it. So if you ain't used to things swinging out, I mean, I am from driving a garbage truck. I got a lot of overhang out of the back. Oh, this is going to be another one of my projects. I'm going to take this. I've been collecting parts already for it. I'm going to completely change the way it looks. Turn it into a bike path bike. Smooth tires, different grips, getting rid of this stupid twist shift crap and putting my trigger shifters on. New seat, new pedals, all that stuff. You'll see it whenever I get to do it. Alright, so what I've decided that I'm going to do is just in fact cut this down. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to take that much off of it, probably to about here, so that it'll fit all the way in and suck it up closer to the car. Now, this hitch will never be able to be used, or this bike carrier will only be able to be used on this car, pretty much. But I want to cut it, say right about here. And then I'll either drill, well, I'll probably drill a new hole also, but I'm thinking I might weld it as well around the front. Just to take some of the play out of it, because when you're going from a hitch to an adapter to another insert, there's an awful lot of side-to-side play too. So if I weld it, then it won't have it at least here, and the only play would be at this end, which I could put some shims in to take up. Let's get some nylon shims. Okay, so here's what I ended up doing with this. I cut this much off of the original bike rack, and now this tube right here is slid completely into this adapter. Then I welded it the whole way around, and then I drilled, since it already had a hole for a pin, I just drilled it and bolted it just for extra security. So it's much shorter now. It fits on the car like it originally would have if I had a 2-inch hitch on the back of the car. So it's up closer to the bumper, doesn't stick out as far. Unfortunately, after all that, she doesn't like it. So I'm gonna try to come up with a different bike rack. Now we'll still use this one whenever I go too. Or, you know what I mean, if there's three or I guess 4 of us going, then I'll use this rack. She wants to get one of them. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's a no-touch bike rack that, like, it's got these things that the wheels slip into, and then it's got this clamp on each side that clamps down right, like it would clamp down over the tire like this without touching the rim or the frame. It's really cool. I think it's made by Saris or something like that. I can't remember exactly. I have it bookmarked whenever I get around to being able to afford that, because that is not a cheap bike rack. So, I mean, that'll do for now. And then she's still just taking this car with the trunk mount on it, because I mean, I get it. When this is in the hitch, the bar where you'd put the bike on is almost at shoulder height for her, so I get it. That's a big lift. But I figured I'd show you guys how it turned out. I think it's pretty good. Like I said, welded, bolted, painted. It's good and solid. I've already had more weight on it than it should. I was hanging on the end of it when I was on the hitch, so I'm like, if it can hold that, it'll hold a bicycle. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later.